executives are using LinkedIn not just for the thought leadership, but to genuinely connect with their audience and build trust. And this is where influencers come in, right? They don't go to LinkedIn to buy. They go on LinkedIn to learn, to get educated, to connect with different people, to exchange thoughts. I mean, think about it. We are spending more time on social, communicating with our peers that we are actually spending in working, right? It's funny, but it's the truth. Gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Funky Marketing Podcast. This one is special, and it is one of those where I'm alone without a guest, and we are going to dive deep into how influencer-led content is reshaping the B2B landscape. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nemanja Zivkovic. I'm hands-on marketing strategies that bring tangible results. Usually that's what I do with a little bit of funk. That's why this podcast is called Funky Marketing, and my company is called Funky Marketing as well. Remember 4Ps? Seems like we all forgot about the basics, the foundation, and usually the solutions for the complex problems is in solving the foundation. I help mid-size, high ACV, and long sales cycles B2B companies win by facilitating their sales and showing their unique advantage, which is how I see marketing and what marketing should do in those companies. But before I get deep into our today's topic, I just want to make sure that we are going live. We are. If you are watching this, feel free to ask questions anytime. I will try to answer all of your questions if I can. And let me just see it. Yep, that's how we're gonna roll. So before we dive deeper into our today's topic, let's address something important. Like LinkedIn is changing, and it's changing fast. It moved as far as possible from the virtual CV. It became something which is a platform where you connect with other people, create a relationship with them. It became number one place for B2B sale. And it's not a platform where you can just post one-liner joke and expect thousands of reactions, right? It might happen in 2019 and 2020, maybe 2021, but it's not happening anymore. So one other thing that's happening is executives of the B2B companies are flooding LinkedIn, all of them striving to build creativity, credibility, trust. And if your strategy doesn't adapt, you'll be left behind, right? It's not easy anymore to get traction, to get comments, to be visible. That's something which is not happening just like this anymore on LinkedIn. Things have changed, and one of the ways things have changed is, and one of the things that's causing all of this to change is this. Let me just give you an overview. So since pandemic, we changed the way we buy in B2B, right? It used to be one dimension. We just watch on TV everything that they tell us to do. It was like radio, TV, whatever it is, whatever they serve us, we observe that and we buy that. But it changed because why? We got the voice. The customers got the voice. So it came from B2C. Like Netflix is doing that, Airbnb is doing that. They are giving us the personalized experience, and we can. And those companies walk half the way towards the customers to meet them and to actually give them personalized experience. And this is exactly what is happening now, slowly with B2B. Why? Because there are three ways in which we buy today. So first thing is we have like small communities. small business communities. We have like demand generation community. We have small B2B community. We have sales communities. We have different SaaS communities. So a lot of stuff are changing, and those small communities have emerged since pandemic, since 2020, 2021. And in all those communities, we have at least 10 people that we trust, that we value, and whose advice we're going to listen, right? So we can ask them about the tool, about the product, about the agency, about the person, whatever it is that we are buying. On the other hand, we have social media. Okay, we have other social media, but this is business, so I'm going to focus on LinkedIn. So in 2 clicks, we can reach out to anybody. We can reach out to anybody and ask them, right? And we can also use our feed to kind of ask a different set of questions. I was I don't know when it was, like a few months ago, I was buying the tool for the social media scheduling before LinkedIn allowed that option, and before I started using Autodap. And the thing was, I first asked on LinkedIn. I asked my connections, about recommendations. Then I asked in certain communities. So we have this social media platform where we ask people about things. That's the second thing. And the third thing is the one that, we all know 3 to 5 people that we trust, that are on the same position as we are, or maybe more experienced. And we can ask them, did you use this tool? Did you work with that person? Did you work with that agency? Is that product the right fit for us, for the company of that size? I see you are using it, you are the bigger company, maybe that's a fit for you, not a fit for us. So they can ask those kind of questions. And so you get the answer. The job of marketing today is to be one of these answers that people from the company get, right? So those are the things that change. And if we have one thing that's common to all these things, so people we know and trust, community, when we have at least 10 people that we know and trust also, that are subject matter experts. And if we look at social media, one thing that emerges as a thing that connects all of them is subject matter expert, right? We need somebody who is known inside the community to communicate the message of the company. At the same time, that person needs to be somebody who knows the industry, who is well valued in the industry, experience. And on the other hand, that needs to be somebody who can tell the company's narrative, the company's story the right way, so it resonates with the right audience. That is the most important thing. So that's the ground upon which we are starting today's lesson. And in 2025, I'm telling you, LinkedIn will be the battleground for attention in B2B space. CXOs and top executives are all going all in. The content you share needs to evolve. So today we're going to discuss how influencer-led content alongside new trends like, work style content. Devin Reed just called it last night, work style content or vertical videos can drive real impact and build awareness, relationships, demand, and eventually can build sales. So feel free to ask questions, to add comments. I want this to be as interactive as possible. Amir, my friend, thank you for being always active. I appreciate you, and we should get you here one time to talk about all these things. So the first segment that I want to address here is the changing landscape of LinkedIn and the rise of influencers. So as LinkedIn evolves, the type of content that drives evolves as well, right? So no more, as I told you, no more one-liners or quick hacks. Authenticity is the key. Sure, we can still do a lot of stuff that we used to do, like add a tweet on X and screenshot that and use that on LinkedIn or something similar, but it needs to have a context why we are doing that. Memes still work, but memes are just a way that we can explain in more simple and funnier way a serious topic so people can understand them. It's not something that we just post for the sake of posting, right? So that's important for you to understand. Content that connects with people on a deeper level, particularly work style content that gives a behind the scenes look at professionals' life, that's what resonates. Executives are using LinkedIn not just for the top leadership, but to genuinely connect with their audience and build trust. And this is where influencers come in, right? They don't go to LinkedIn to buy. They go on LinkedIn to learn, to get educated, to connect with different people, to exchange thoughts. I mean, think about it. We are spending more time on social, communicating with our peers that we are actually spending in working, right? It's funny, but it's the truth, right? Influencers in this new LinkedIn era have more power than ever. It's no longer about reach, it's about relevance and resonance. And influencers who are expert in their field, who can humanize and who can talk about challenges and opportunities of their industry in a human way, in their own unique way, are the ones who are building real relationships and driving engagement. That thing with influencers was happening in B2C for years now, and it was slowly coming to B2B, and now it's boom, it's here, it's there. It's not something that is gonna come in; it's already there. And what I wanted to tell you is how I'm trying and doing this thing since 2020, I think. And let me give you an example. How did I know that this thing is coming? Sure, we have Favicon, which is, I guess we can call it a SaaS tool that actually help influencers and companies choose the right influencers to work with. If you didn't check Favicon with a K, go and check it out, see your score and see how do you rank and for which categories, industries, and where do they see you, right? It's interesting, kind of like a competition. And if you sign up and actually validate that you are a creator, it's easy to go in there and work on your LinkedIn presence based on that. And a lot of companies are now using Favicon to kind of choose the right influencers. It eventually even gives you the it assumes how much you should pay to a creative based on the data that they're gathering, right? Amir is saying, as I was telling a friend, how do you share knowledge and content that works for you, for your recipe, your audience? Memes and other things are okay, and you can have fun a couple of days, but overall, if you can show your stuff, you got a better chance at leverage for LinkedIn for business. Let me add to this, Amir. So you're right, but memes can prove that as well. Just type in search Elena Verna and check it out. Check it out what she's doing. Also find memes related to product-led growth on Google. She's also first on Google when it comes to that kind of content. So there are ways to show these things. If you know how to show and you have results and you know your things, you can show them even through the memes. So that's important to know. But let me get back to what I was saying. So a huge company reached out to me. I'm not going to mention names, but they were known in B2C space and like building websites, website builder, and those kind of things. And they reached out to me saying that they have now developed a B2B enterprise product. It's already working. They already having customers, but nobody knows about it, right? So they are now entering B2B. They have a brand in B2C. People know them, and they are already working with influencers in B2C. But now it's a B2B thing, and now they need to approach things in totally different way. So and the thing is, it's not just relying on traditional influencers, right? It's, going behind the scenes insights from the industry expert who are willing to share their real challenges and successes. So the thing that they were streaming for, and the program we created was the one where it's something that I already tried and it worked for Funky Marketing, is finding out who is their ICP, right? Who is their ideal customers, and finding who are the people who are influencing those people. So I don't want their ICP. I want people who are actually influencing their ICP alongside with their ICP. Right? A little bit complex, but it's actually not. So what I want to do is gather them in one place, and I want to make them create content with the company. And if I'm organizing the program, I'm the strategist, I want to be inside it as well, right? So it's not just me. They choose me as an influencer and I'm doing this thing. No, I want to involve as many other people who are important and can drive the results as possible alongside with me. So, for example, I can do an interview with 10 of them, create a list of 10 people. Who are, I don't know, we can call them influencers, whatever it is for that company. So it would be people from the target audience that would use the tool, but also the people who influence those people. And I want to create content with them, where I have also the CMO of the company, I have the product leader of the company, and we are having a discussion. And inside all that discussion is the product, right? So it's obvious for somebody, what they should do. We don't need to tell them, right? So that's an important thing to remember. And sure, that's creating an awareness. A lot of companies are coming and saying, hey, we just want to create the awareness. But the thing is, you can go even deeper and create some kind of account-based marketing program out of it, where if you include their ICP, if you include the ICP, then it's, it's not just brand awareness program, it's more of account-based marketing program. When you're targeting specific accounts with that content, creating a relationship with them. And as you are using different things, different set of people, different resources, basically you are trying to get them towards the goal. And I'm not talking only about one platform, right? I always talking about creating a lava effect. That's how I call it. When you involve more people, when you involve more platforms or more things inside one platform. Think about it, like LinkedIn, you have live streams, you have audio events, you have newsletters, you have posts, you have a lot of different stuff that you can use to talk about the things in a different way. So that's what I'm talking about, and that's just one approach of how you can do things, right? So create the program which will get your ICP and people who are influencing your ICP to talk about specific topic that relates to your product or your service and your audience, and then follow up with, for example, a couple of webinars. Follow up with a couple of webinars when you will have people from the company involved. As I told you, like CMO, or it can be the head of product, to talk about the product from different perspective, and actually, be more specific when it comes to the webinars. Because you already created the awareness, and now you are basically taking them from that awareness stage to the mid-size stage, and some of them even towards the conversion. So, and at the same time, you are creating a brand, as you are already positioning your company alongside all these people, because they will, if they co-create content with you, they will talk about it in their own way. Imagine like 10 people, 20 people talking about your product in a different way because you had a conversation with them. Imagine that. Extremely powerful in B2B. And that's exactly how you should go if you're selling how ACV and long sales cycle projects. But let's move on and let's talk about how influencer-led content actually drives revenue, right? There's a shift from awareness to the revenue. You don't want them to just get you as big a reach as possible, as many eyeballs on that content as possible. That's cool, and that's actually what should happen, and it will start word of mouth. But you want actually to create the content which will inspire actions, right? That's what my company is called Funky Marketing, because funk is the groove that makes you want to move. So not just being in the room when everybody around you are dancing, but you are also inspire them to dance in a specific way, and to get to you and say, hey, you taught me that dance, I want to dance with you. That's exactly what you want to get out of these kind of things. So influencer marketing isn't just about creating awareness anymore. It's about creating demand and creating a conversion, right? When I say about creating demand, meaning creating a real estate in your heart and mind about that company, about that product, about that person you talk about. So when the time is right for you to buy, when the demand actually appears inside the company, you are the first on their mind. And LinkedIn is the platform where that happens. Influencers today are no longer seen as like a PR tool or whatever it is. They're the key drivers of the revenue when you build long-term relationships with them. And one important thing to think about in all this stuff is not like, hey, I just got the message today, so I'm just kind of getting into that. We now have a tool, we have an affiliate program, and we will give you like 15 or 20 or 25% of commission of every product that you sell. That's not enough. That's not nearly enough, and that won't move me to come in and get to know your product and see if it resonates with me and actually use it and then promote it. Nope. That's not how it goes. That's when you have an affiliate program, you hire affiliate marketers and they promote it and they get the commission from it. When it comes to influencer marketing, or we call influencers like key opinion leaders or subject matter experts, however do we call them, the thing is totally different. So sure, we will get the commission. That should be non-negotiable. That's not even the conversation starter, right? It's about coming up with a specific project, specific strategy, where you will actually create the story around how you are using the product, how your audience can use the product or the service or whatever it is. So it's actually different. You are paying the effort, the influence, all that stuff. You cannot just pay the commission. The commission is something that should come as a bonus. So always think about that and think that way. We'll come later to the common mistakes companies are making and talk more about this. But just wanted to say that now vertical videos. I mentioned vertical videos because video is coming on LinkedIn in a big way. I'm still not getting it. I gotta say, in this part of the world, it's coming slowly, but I can see what's happening and I'm there. So that's important thing to mention. Give me just a minute to get some juice and you read what my brother Amir is saying. Some people like doing advisory and post for companies, but so many need to believe in the product too. Yes, that's extremely important. To be honest, sometimes, you have a great product and you understand it, but you cannot use it. For example, for me, I'm a solopreneur, right? I have a team, but they are not inside the company. And I cannot use all these things. For example, I don't have a CRM. I don't have a need for it at the moment. So I cannot use a lot of things, but I was a performance marketer before. I've done it. I've done it with bigger companies. I've done it with mid-sized companies. I've done it with small startups. So I know how these things work. So I can try it on. And I know these people, I'm the kind of the connection between them and the tool, so I can recommend the tool. But I won't say that I'm using the tool. I will tell you, I will, for example, interview some person from the company. Like I had a newsletter with Dealfront. I interviewed the CMO. I asked him specific questions. How can marketers use one product? How can salespeople use another product? Do you get a clash with those two? How do you separate those two things? And all this question. And then I'm using insights from him, from his own words, to communicate with the target group through my social media profiles, through my platforms. So that's how it goes. But going back to vertical videos, LinkedIn algorithm is favoring video content these days, especially vertical videos. But to tell you the truth, those are not the videos from the podcast. I've been trying things out. Nope. As I told you for the post, it's not that easy to come up with a one-liner joke and just talk about it. It's the same for the videos. You cannot just cut out the pieces from the podcast, post it, and you get the viral post, or you get any traction. You get like smaller traction. That's okay. So it's a problem for me as I'm recording a lot of podcasts, right? So you need to go and create scripted videos and do something differently. I will have Tim Davidson on a podcast. It should have happened today, but Tim had to travel, so we will record around the beginning of November. If you know Tim Davidson, you know the videos he's creating. He's chopping fruits, I don't know, like fixing things inside his garage or something like that, and talking about marketing, ABM, advertising, whatever it is. That's what's working today, right? And this is where you can repurpose influencer collaboration. So a quick, authentic, vertical videos from an influencer that's sharing insights and challenges is getting today a massive reach. So when done right, this content has the potential to convert viewers into engaged prospects, right? Because it's telling things from their own perspective. To give you a perspective from my side, when I was starting 2019, 2020, like Chris Walker was, coming out of every fridge from the people who use LinkedIn, right? Chris Walker was everywhere talking about content creation, talking about demand generation, those kind of things. Then we had my buddy Andrej Zinkovic as well, talking in a different way. So when I was at the conferences with them, I could not talk about the same way about the same things that they're doing, because like I don't have resources to the companies that Chris does in the US. So I cannot go and share my screen and get those results because he's already doing that. Andre is, on the other hand, showing system, processes, different kind of stuff. So I cannot do that as well. So what can I do? I can talk about the things in as simple as possible way, so everybody understand them. Everybody understand what is demand generation, what is demand creation, does it exist at all? What is marketing today, how it is. Remember how I explained to you at the beginning? It's very actually easy. We have 3 points. So communities, social media, and people we know and trust inside our phones. So we need to be on top of mind for those people inside those conversations when it happens. Marketing need to facilitate that sales, but giving exactly to the people what they need in each stage. And this is where influencers are extremely, extremely important for all of this. So that's what I'm talking about. One mistake companies make is focusing too much on these vanity metrics. And in this new era that is coming on LinkedIn, success isn't measured by likes or shares. It's measured by lead generation and conversions. So the thing that you should follow if you do influencer-led content is direct increase in qualified leads and eventually in the revenue. Right? The content should be relevant, authentic, and deliver consistently. showing as many as possible specific examples. How does what company says really shows up in practice, right? So that's what should happen. And sure, you will get the brand, you will get the awareness, you will get the exposure because you are creating content, with other people, but you want to create what I call the lava effect. So it goes from different directions. It's not just it's just one post and LinkedIn shows it in an empty feed and boom, you don't get anything from that. But hey, the influencer got, I don't know, like $500, $1,000, $5,000, but you got nothing as a company. So you need to change the way you think about things and approach them from different perspective. Let's talk about some common mistakes companies make when it comes to influencer marketing. So first one is ignoring the shift towards the content that we are talking about. Companies still rely on purely polished corporate messaging and missing totally the point. LinkedIn users now connect more with style, with work style, which is authentic, which is behind the scenes look into real professional lives, not just coming out like the day in the life of a professional. Sure, okay, that can work, but who cares? It's actually how you are using the tool, some kind of, how I would call it, like user generated content, but for the tech companies. So let the influencers share their experience in an authentic and raw way, the way they are doing it, right? So for example, I was just recording yesterday a video while I was riding my bicycle. That's one way to do it. Then you are walking on the street. The third one is, so that's one part when you are moving and things are moving around you, so it's not boring. The other thing is I can share my screen, go and show how I'm using specific tools. Also, what I can do is use a green screen and talk about the things, and behind me I can analyze the results, the stuff, the product, campaigns, whatever it is. I can talk about it just like journalists are doing. So there are a lot of stuff that you can use. Yeah, add a B-roll, of course, that will just kind of make things more interesting. But think from that perspective, right? Make your brand build trust by being human. That's extremely important. Like companies like to see like, okay, it's sunshine and flowers and all these things, but it's not. We all know it. And if you show it in a way which is, not resonating with reality, guess what? You will get also people who are, has nothing to do with that. You will get people who will buy the product, who don't believe in it, who will just move on soon. You will get people who apply for the jobs in your company that don't believe in your mission and your culture and everything because you showed them wrong, or you showed generic messaging and you did it in a totally different way. So another mistake companies are making is treating influencers like paid media. Treating influencers like a paid media is a huge mistake companies are making. It's just one of ad channels. No, it's not. I mean, it's tempting to think that a single post would move the needle for your product or for your service, but what really works is long-term engagement. Influencers should be involved in the content creation process, not just giving a script to follow. That's just bullshit. I'm refusing those kind of things, and I'm hating on subject matter experts, influencers who are doing that. If company comes to me, as every influencer should think like this, I want to work with them to understand who is their ideal customer. How do they buy? How is the process going? And what can be my place inside of them to help them move the needle, to help them skip a few steps and facilitate the buying process. That's what I should do. Because if our audience resonates, The audience trusts me. For some reason, I have 27,000 followers on LinkedIn, and those people trust me, right? So I can help the company by helping those people. If that product that I'm promoting actually helps those people, I need to find a way to communicate it in my own way so the audience understand that. And that's all that you need to know and to think about. Another mistake companies are making is not capitalize on video content. Um, Text posts are pretty okay, but everybody can do them now in the times of AI. And a lot of people think that we don't know this when they just edit a little bit to post and use AI, and I'm totally for it. But you need to train AI, ChatGPT, whatever it is on your profile, and it doesn't happen in a day. You need to take time and educate them, give them enough data, feed them with all kind of documents that you are preparing so they know how you are thinking, they know your tone of voice, and then you can use them to kind of come up with the content, and that content will be interesting. So it's not AI that is not creating interesting content, it's the person which is not interesting. So always think about that. Short vertical videos from influencers showing real moments is what the algorithm is prioritizing. So repurpose your content into video formats and get ahead of the competition. Because showing your faces, when I say your faces, I mean subject matter expert, no matter if they are working in the company or they are influencers outside of the company, it builds trust. So people can see how I'm talking about the topic. Am I confident? Am I smiling, or am I serious? Or all those small little things that actually create trust. And I'm actually glad that this shift is happening on LinkedIn, because trust is the most important thing in B2B sales. And having executives active on LinkedIn, having influencers over there, those are all things that are important today and helps you actually build authentic connection with your audience. Ilya has a content. Let me check out what he's saying. Working on building your brand with all the content creation and participation in other creators' content sounds and practically is a full-time job. How can an already busy professional find resources to be content creator? Building his own brand, for example, so not just to increase visible engagement metrics, but also have high percentage of conversion. Ilya, appreciate the question. I'll get back to it at the end because it's not related to the influencer topic, but I will answer it. And I'm talking about it basically daily, but I'll go to it and give you a really specific answer. Just bear with me for a little while. So how to choose the right influencers? Usually companies go and they say follower count over credibility, right? They check the number of followers. That's just not how it works today. It's not about the number of followers, it's about credibility and whether the influencer audience trusts them. We saw this firsthand when, curating the top marketing voices list for some of the companies we work with. So instead of focusing only on follower numbers, we work with influencers whose voices align with our brand and who had a deep connection with the audience, right? And it happens. For example, I've been approached by a huge company just because they thought I can authentically translate their message and what are they doing to the audience, which is also my audience, right? Their ICP who is actually my audience. So think about those things very well. Very well. You need to have a deep thought and do a deep research about these things and actually get into it. Segment number 4 that I want to talk about today is the new influencer playbook for LinkedIn success and how does it look like. So the first step, let me actually see first if we have any more questions. Cool, not yet. Feel free to ask anything. I'll try to answer everything at the end or right now. All depends if it's inside the topic. So how does the new influencer playbook for LinkedIn success today looks like? We start from building executive presence on LinkedIn. So executives need to be active on LinkedIn. CXOs and top B2B leaders are using LinkedIn to build visibility and thought leadership, right? Thought leadership for me means having a new perspective on an important topic. If topic important for your audience. If your executives aren't posting regularly, engaging with their audience, you're missing out a major opportunity. So the fight for attention is happening now, and your leadership needs to be front and center. Because they can choose just one platform, and they need one platform where they communicate with the audience. They get the feedback also for their team, for their product, for everything, and LinkedIn is the perfect platform for that. Step 2 is embrace work style content. So to really connect with your audience, you need to humanize your content. And this is where work style content actually shows up. Showing the real behind the scenes of your business or daily life and coming into play, influencers who share the type of content and seeing massive engagement. And it's a trend your company should embrace as well. If you want, you can share a little bit of the personal stuff, but you don't need to. I'm always saying like 20% can be personal just to differentiate you, and 80% are business related stuff, meaning results, processes, talking about the, important trends, what's going on, and then co-creating content with others. So step 3 is using video to amplify reach, to create trust. I told you, people need to see how do you look, how do you talk about the things, do you actually know your shit, right? And the step 4 is measure the metrics that matter. Don't fall into the trap of measuring success by likes or shares. Track lead generation, engagement, conversions to see the real impact of your influencer campaign. So go all the way, track things all the way, not just the last touch attribution. The content you co-create with influencers should be a key part of your revenue strategy. And you should go, so that's the part inside the company. You create the influencers inside your company because you have the subject matter expert. At least you have your founder or the CEO. Then to that, add the external influencers to kind of help you spread the message more to the relevant audience, but also include people from the company because you want also them to become the authority so your target audience knows and gets familiar with them as well. And then use different types of content, different tools, for example, like LinkedIn newsletter, then we have live events, then we have audio events. All these kind of things matter, and it will get you to your goal. And always look at the bigger picture, not just can we pay 5 people to post 5 times and see what happens. It will fail. Those things don't work. I told you how LinkedIn works now, so those things are not working. So LinkedIn is changing, and the strategies that worked a few years ago just don't cut it anymore. Influencer-led content, when combined with work style, authenticity, video, is basically the way forward. And it's just not just about quick hits, it's about building long-term relationships that drive real business results. So it's time to act. If your leadership team isn't fully leveraging LinkedIn, if you're not tapping into influencer-led partnerships, video, you're leaving opportunities on the table. One thing I wanted to talk with you about and to share, let me just go through some of my. I wanted to share you one more example, which is the interesting one. Give me just a second, and while I do that, let me answer to Ilya. So Ilya asked, working or building your brand with all the content creation and participating in other creators' content, sound and practically is a full-time job. It's not. How can you already be an already busy professional find resources to be content creator building his own brand, for example? So not just to increase visible engagement metrics, but also have high percentage of conversion. So it's actually very easy to do that if you know who is your target audience. So let me just be fast, sharp, and clear. So finding your audience, meaning your ICP, people who influence your ICP, media, so podcasts, portals, all those kind of things, and your peers. So you're connecting with those 4 target audiences. right? So from influencers, you basically steal the people, because what you need to do is they won't be active, become active just because of you. So they are already active. So by sharing great content and engaging in the comments, you are actually bringing them to you. When you know those people, when you know who are those 4 target audiences, you choose, for example, I don't know, 10 people, and you turn on the bells on their profiles. So you don't go to the feed, you don't consume content in the feed. There's no need for that. Sometimes, yes, maybe, but you go and you comment to those people's posts. In 3 days, you will know exactly when they are posting on LinkedIn. So you know where you need to be on LinkedIn, right? So you come to the LinkedIn, you engage with those people that you got notifications, so you go and see if you can give value in the content. So meaning commenting if you can get additional value to that post. That's all you should think of. Then you post. So first you engage the algorithm, then you post to get the traction, and then you go and comment a little bit more. Check out who's visiting your profile. If those are the right people, send them a message. If people who are liking and commenting your post, the right people, send them a message, right? So those are the things that you should do. And it demands 20 minutes to 30 minutes per day. I would say use a little bit more time. You can go along with that, but use that. To be able to do that, first you need to figure out what's your content. And I'm always saying, if you want a simple version, you have the past, so your past experience. Go ahead and write posts about your past experience. Then you have things that are happening right away. So daily meetings, those kind of things, come up with content from those things. And then you have the things that are happening in the future, or your point of view of the things. That's the third type of post. So that's 3 posts. If you look at it in a month, that's like 12 posts. If you look at it 3 months, 36 posts for 3 months, and you're basically covering your posting, right? If you have inspiration, you will add a few more, but then you have free time to comment and to engage with people. And and people saying working on building your brand with all the content creation sounds like a full-time job. It's not, but you need to make it as part of the process and look at yourself as your client. That's a thing. And if you are choosing one platform, choose platform that matters. If you're talking about LinkedIn, it's LinkedIn. It's just one platform. How do you work on your job if you don't communicate with your peers and with your customers? So it's not happening, right? So that's the important thing. And I'm telling you, do what I told you, it will work. It will work. And everybody who's telling me I have too much work, that's just bullshit. Trust me, I'm in an industry for a long time, and I have a work to do, right? But the important thing is my clients are coming inbound from LinkedIn because I'm there. That's it. And end of the story. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Also, let me go back to that example that I wanted to share with you. Which is kind of interesting. Yeah. Okay. So talking with Ashley Faust from Atlassian, there is one thing that they did. They hired technical evangelists whose job is to create educational content for their industry peers. Right? They did something which is a little bit different. And this led to long-term revenue growth because these influencers help solve real problems. And in the process, naturally bring Atlassian's product into the conversations. Right? So they did something reverse. They basically added external influencers to the internal processes and did something which is a lot different. So yeah, Ilya, no problem. I hope it was helpful. I'm always here. We can jump on a call and talk about these things anytime. But that's the excuse that I'm hearing all the time from the executives, right? But it's until they start seeing the potential of it. And usually what happens, why, as I'm telling you, why are executives starting to become active on LinkedIn? For one specific reason, because marketers have become better at explaining them how LinkedIn is connected to the company's results, right? That's the single reason it happens. Because they knew, okay, sure, we need to be active on LinkedIn and post on the company page. But if us marketers can show them how actually it reflects on the company results, on the revenue, that's a totally different thing. If to give you an example, and a very simple one, we talked about it in the previous episodes with Charlie Triveau and some other episodes, like add a simple self-reported attribution on a website, ask questions, how did you hear about us, why do you want to work with us? And if you're doing a really good job with your marketing, people will tell you what's the burning thing that they have about your brand, about yourself, depending on who the form is about. When they fill in the form, how did you hear about us? They will tell you, for example, LinkedIn. I got the things like Nemanja jumps out of Pate on LinkedIn, or they will have your reputation in the workspace. That's bullshit. That means that they don't have anything. But why do you want to work with us? Then they will tell you, I'm looking at the people in the industry space, and nobody is doing anything innovative, and your approach and go-to-market really resonates, and we want to try that out. It's enough for the conversation. Those kind of things. Or you will get people who referred you, your peers, so you know that they are actually watching, listening to this, and connect that self-reported attribution form to, for example, the Slack channel, if you are using Slack in a company. And it should be a channel where everybody are in, so like C-level executives and everybody from the company. So where a customer converts inbound through that, and they send a message, how did they hear about you and why they want to buy from you? Everybody sees that. So like, I don't know, George wrote a blog post, and that blog post converted the customer. He should get a praise, and everybody will see that. The C-level executives will see how it's happening, because they don't trust marketing per se, but they trust the customer. So they know, like, hey, this company that we have been targeting for a while converted, and they say that they saw posts from these two people from the company on LinkedIn, and it made them convert, right? And that changes the game. That changes completely the game, because now they are aware that what marketing team is doing is giving them results, and people actually talk about it the right way. They have qualitative data, not only the quantitative. When they say, hey, LinkedIn, what's happening on LinkedIn? Now we know what's happening. And this is what actually caused all these things to happen. And one thing that I want to add for the end, LinkedIn is changing things. So Thought Leadership Ads basically allows the company to protect their investment. Meaning, if somebody is posting on their profile, company can boost that post, through their ads, and making sure that that they get the returns that they want. They make sure that their ICP is actually seeing that content. It also happens, the shift is coming to YouTube as well. When Google announced that soon we'll have an option to do remarketing or retargeting on any video, no matter if we created it or not. So it's also like kind of like Thought Leadership Ads that we have on LinkedIn. Now we'll have them on YouTube. So those are all the things that's happening. It's exciting scene, and if I can help you out, feel free to reach out anytime. If this was useful, go ahead and share it with other people. Send them a link, anything. Turn them out, because I'm trying on this podcast to actually give you useful stuff, real in practice strategies and things that can move the needle for your business. So you stay up to date with how your buyers buy, how things are changing, and actually get the real results for your company. That's all that I want to do with this Funky Marketing podcast. And thank you for being with me today. It's been a long day. I've been to Belgrade on some meetings. Then I came back to Novi Sad to do this. and another meeting after this, and then I'm going to Belgrade for the season opening for my favorite club, Partizan Belgrade, to watch basketball with my wife and my friends and all the fans. And there's no better feeling in the world than that. Keep it funky, guys. Go back to the beginning of the episode, listen to everything again, ask me questions if you have them. Feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, and also give us the review if this is something that you like. If you find it useful, give us a review, give us a follow on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, whatever is the platform that you are using. I'm extremely grateful for everything. See you next week with the new guest and the new episode. Cheers.